Welcome back to another Tuesday Jaw Time with Realtor Jeet. And I'm so super happy that my friend Jeremias JMan Maneiro.
You almost did it again.
JMan Maneiro is here live, and so he's a real estate agent in Rochester, New York, and also speaks worldwide on not just motivating people on getting out of their comfort zone and working and doing the thing that they need to do to get to their goals, also really, really tech savvy, which is why we're going to be talking about the metaverse today. So welcome back, Jeremias Maneiro.
Thank you for having me, Realtor Jeet. It is a pleasure to be here. I'm happy that you almost called me JMan Smith for the second time after we talked about it before we went live. But I'm really happy to be here. I mean, my specialty is helping people to get out of their own way when it comes to technology. I feel like a lot of people talk about technology. My skill is to kind of help you overcome your fears with it, because I think that's the biggest stumbling block in the beginning. As we see new things, right? You go, I'm scared of that. I'm not going to do it because it's new and I might mess it up.
I love that you said that, Jeremias, because that's one of the things that really holds people that.
You're so formal. I'm going to put my jacket on.
Okay. I said, that's one of the things that does hold people back, is that when they see something new, especially something technology-wise, and this is something that I went through personally when I first started real estate, my real estate journey in my career, is I love technology. I know the social media platforms, and that's something I knew from the start that I wanted to utilize. And this was back in 2017. And whenever I would give the idea at meetings, it was always shut down, because it was always, we gotta go door knock or make the calls. And
right. Oh, but if I have to pull my phone out and do a video, no way.
Yeah. And I used to get that response was, I don't know how you could put yourself in front of the video. I could never do that. So obviously, to take myself out of the environment and put myself where people are willing to go thrive and get out of their comfort zone. So thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah, no, my pleasure, because it's like the moment you are comfortable and you remain in that comfortable state is when you stop growing and you stop experiencing new things and stop, oh, I'm good. I'm not going to do anything new because I might get rejected. Somebody might not like me. I might hear a no, and then I'm going to go home and cry. Like, it's okay. Everything's going to be all right.
That's a good perspective on that, because a lot of people who are already, and agents as well, specifically, since we're talking on this subject and we're both real estate agents, they're comfortable with the thing that they already know, which sooner or later is going to become irrelevant. And because they don't want to relearn or learn something new and get out there and go through the rejections, like you had to start before when you did the door knocking. You know you were going to get rejected and you're going to make mistakes, and you're just going to keep going back out there and keep doing it until you get the hang of it and the skill set. But now that you have to learn a new skill set, it's like, oh man, I don't want to do this all over again.
Well, if we are going to talk about the metaverse today, think of it like in the 90s, before there was the internet, people still sold real estate, right? And they were like, oh, this internet thing is a fad, right? America Online. You used to get these CDs in the mail, and then, if you're old enough, if you're like in your 30 or older, 35 or older, you remember those days where we had that dial up, and people were like, if you were in real estate at the time, they were going, I don't need the internet. I can sell real estate the way I always have.
Mm.
Those people are no longer in the business, right? They're in a tar pit somewhere being discovered by archaeologists years from now.
I mean, you think about it, you have those big data sheet papers and you have to highlight all of the expireds and then put it on a new Excel sheet. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a
Yeah.
lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't imagine doing that. I was just learning. I was in 4th grade when it came out.
You're old.
So, how is the metaverse changing the way changing the way that um, we as real estate professionals, service professionals,
Yeah.
how is that going to affect business in the future?
Well, it's a whole new world, right? And I think if anything that the pandemic taught us, it accelerated our virtual world because so many of us were forced into doing things virtually that probably would have people would have never done. Right? Think about how many people you know, not just real estate related, but just in general, who would have never hopped on a Zoom because they don't like how they look, they don't like how they sound, whatever the case may be, but they had to for work. They had to collaborate with their colleagues and their superiors, or they would be out of a job. And
Yeah.
so it's amazing what people can do when they have to, right? And so I think now, if I equate the metaverse to the dawn of the internet, like it is a different world in which we go, what do you mean? There's a virtual world where there's virtual real estate that people buy? How can you buy something that's not real? Just let that sink in. I did a dramatic pause for a reason. Like, let that sink in for a second because it's like, what do you mean? And then I go, okay, well, let me ask you this: if you have kids, uh, or grandkids, or nieces or nephews, and they're playing Roblox or Minecraft or any of these games, and they buy skins, right? And by skins, I mean outfits. And they buy guns and they buy shoes and they buy all these things that are digital assets. That's all they are, right? I buy my kid Robux for Christmas. He goes and buys imaginary clothes, digital clothing for his imaginary person. So that right there, listen, right? So that when he gets in front of his friends in an imaginary world, in a digital world, in an online world, he can impress them. For the same reason, we buy this jacket or we buy that dress or we buy those shoes or we buy that handbag or we buy that car. It's so that when we're around other people, they're impressed, or it's a status symbol in some way to set ourselves apart from others. And they go, wow, look at JMan's outfit. It's a digital outfit, but it could be a Gucci original with a certificate of authenticity that that I paid a significant amount of money for my digital outfit for my avatar. And you're like, it's
No,
happening.
are we going into NFT?
I mean, NFTs are part of the metaverse.
Yeah.
NFTs are they're intertwined.
Mhm.
Any way you look at it, because when you buy digital assets, an NFT is just your proof of ownership.
Oh,
So,
okay. Well, it's
so
still
think of it like that, where when you're buying real estate as an NFT, I'm talking brick and mortar real estate with an NFT. It's a little bit different because the property is transferred over to an LLC, and then you buy the NFT owns the LLC. You're actually buying the LLC, which then owns the real estate. But digital is different. So you tell me what direction you want to go. I have so many different things I
So we're
could
gonna
talk.
stick with what you're saying right now because it's so
Yeah.
funny the story that you gave about the Roblox. I personally have never dealt with Roblox. I was just asking my son who's 18 years old and my 17-year-old, what's Roblox? Because I saw it on my daughter's iPad.
Yeah.
So she has this game. I don't know. It's like an airplane game. She comes
Yeah.
up to me with the iPad and she was like, "Give me your thumb." So this is my thumb. She says, "Give me your thumb," and she puts my thumb on the iPad. Well, my finger on the iPad, and I look down, and she just purchased an outfit for $4.99, and I was like, "What did I just buy?" So, and she's 5 years old.
Right. And so then I'll think when she's 20, she's used to buying digital outfits for her avatar, which is her online version of herself. She's
Mm.
going to be conditioned to buy things online, which some of us are getting used to. But I mean, if we've ever played a game, if you've ever played any kind of game online, we've been doing this for years. It's when you would buy extra lives or you knew a cheat code to Contra. I'm just saying a game from a long time ago. I can still remember it was up, down, left, right, A, B, select, start was the cheat code to give me extra lives in this game that I played when I was 8.
And then you would buy
Still remember that. And if and now, but if somebody said, "Hey, you can buy extra lives, or you could buy this diamond outfit which protects you from bullets
Mm.
in a virtual world," boom! Now I got a cheat code for the game. But with adults, think about, and I just want to talk for the male species for a second, and then you could maybe speak on behalf of females. But motivation for most males, single males, no, I'll say all males in general, is to impress the other species. Right? Guys go to a gym, guys buy clothes, guys get their hair done a certain way. It's so their wives are attracted to them, or if they're single, other people, or amongst their peer group, their friends. Like I have a group of friends I've known since the 5th grade. It's like, yeah, that's right. You see this? You see this, Jackie? You see this? So that my friends go, oh, I like that. And it's the same thing in a virtual world as it would be. All of those status symbols that we have in the real life will exist in a digital world. But now, right, instead of you saying, if I say, Harjeet, you want to come to our house? We're having a get together. You don't have to go, hold up. I got to do my hair. I got to get my outfit. All you do is go like this. My avatar is looking nice. Your hair is perfect all the time. You can pick the best outfit you want and you're ready to go. And then when I invite you to my virtual home, I don't have to pick up after the kids. I don't, right? You got kids, you're just like, people are coming over.
Move
You're
them.
picking up and making the house right. You're making it right. But hey, you come to the metaverse, come over to the crib. Yo, let's hang out. It's always it's always really clean because
It's the
online.
metaverse.
Yeah.
It's what it is. I know, because in our world, we now have a subway. So you just go into the subway and click wherever you want to go, and you're
Yeah.
going to tech support, you're going to accounting, you're going to something. But it's a whole world. You could
Right.
go to the beach. You like, it's insane. And but it's like you're actually there and you are interacting with another live person in front of you. And it
Right.
feels
And maybe just defining it for people like the metaverse is nothing more than a three-dimensional online area that incorporates both. It can be virtual and augmented realities. So like
mhm.
I could have real life stuff in an online world. We could talk about that. Or it's all online. And then, you can buy real estate, do fun things, shop for things, try new clothes, even attend concerts now put
Now.
on by real people
Yep.
in a virtual world. Like Post Malone just did a free concert on Horizon Worlds because they're trying to get people to go to this virtual world.
I think it's cool. I think it's a cool new way, and of course, it's not going to take away from real world experiences. It's just more of a convenient way for us to network and build our businesses and our services at a higher level where we can communicate
Mhm.
with people.
Well, and it's just another way to socialize, right? Maybe uh, most people aren't as extroverted as we might be. And
Mhm.
so for them to like leave the house and go someplace in a social setting, in their minds, they'd rather jump off a cliff, right? Like they would not want to do that. But maybe they'd be okay with going to a virtual meetup where their avatar can go and they're behind a shield in a way and they're protected. And maybe that makes them feel a little bit more comfortable to
Mhm.
socialize with others. Maybe that's a great way for them to get out of their comfort zones. Um, it's just another way, right? Just another way to socialize.
Absolutely. It's another way to socialize. So, well, as we were saying in the beginning, how does that work for service providers such as ourselves?
Well, I'll give you an example. I can put this in the comments. I'm going to give you a couple different examples. So let's say,
Oh, before
and
you
this
do
is,
that, if anybody's watching, I know there are people watching out there. We're on LinkedIn, Instagram, not Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. If you have any
how do
questions
I
for
comment?
Jeremias, you could comment in the comment section wherever you are. And Jeremias, I think you just got to click on comments to comment.
Yeah, I would think that would be the case. However, all right, I'm going to message it to you and then perhaps you could post it for me.
Okay.
Uh, but I'll tell you kind of the process. So I was doing a big event in South Florida and I wanted to help people kind of be motivated to get involved, to do the first steps in getting online. That wasn't me. And so I created an online event space. I found somebody on Fiverr. Let's just think of it like an architect, right? You would contact an architect to design you a space. It's very similar in the metaverse. It's just a 3D digital rendering, digital space. And so I contacted her. I said, "Hey, I want to create this auditorium or event space." She designed it. I paid her. I then uploaded it into this platform called spatial.io,
Oh,
spatial.io.
hold on. That's me. SPAT. SPAT.
IAL.
IAL.io.
Yes. Okay, I just sent you. I don't know which messenger that is. One of your messengers.
It went onto YouTube, but I'll put it up later as well.
Okay. I sent it to you in the Facebook chat. And so, or I could do it in the private chat here as well. Ooh, Jeremias. There we go. And so I created the space and I picked spatial.io because it was free. Because like when you do something new, let's not invest as much money as we need to, right? You're testing the waters. Do what's free first. Get comfortable with it. I can't break it. Okay, there was an expense for me to design the space, but a few $100s is not a lot in the big scheme of things. Because I know I'm going to use it, right?
Mhm.
So if you're not like me, a service provider, as far as like speaking, and I can do training, I can do networking events here. There's any number of things that I could do. But if you're in sales, you could create an office space, right? You could have design an office space with a front door. They walk in, and there's an admin person, and then you have multiple conference rooms, and maybe you have a bigger space where you can educate people. Maybe you have a desk, whatever that is, and you can say to your clients, again, it sometimes it's the perception of the tech savviness, right?
Yep.
If Joe is my client and say, "Hey, Joe, we could meet via Zoom, or hey, let's meet in the metaverse, man. I'm tech savvy," and they go, "What? Yeah, here, click this link. You can create your avatar for free, and then we'll meet in my online office."
Yeah.
And they go, "Oh, that's cool." And then in that spatial.io, I can share my screen, so I could share a presentation, right? A PowerPoint presentation. I can share videos, or I could just play music and do like some virtual dances that I can churn the butter. I can do all,
Yep.
all kinds of stuff. It's so fun.
I love it because our world is just like that. We use Verbella, and it's the same thing. We have our offices. We could meet at the beach. We can meet at the coffee place. We can meet at a private office, wherever you want. Where do you want to meet? And let's have a
Right.
cup of coffee.
Yeah, very similar. Meta, and I think maybe this is a good distinction that we should educate them on, is that Facebook has rebranded themselves as Meta, but Facebook does not own the metaverse.
Okay.
Metaverse came first, and then Facebook, who sees trends, they go, well, this is going to be big. Let's rename ourselves Meta. And you know what? Let's buy this company called Quest, Oculus, that has these VR goggles because everybody's going to need them. Now let's call them MetaQuest too, because they're
You just taught me something.
rebranding everything. I'm hot with this jacket. Now I'm getting less formal. So, but they have spaces that they're designing. One of which I've used recently, it's called Workspaces. So if you're on the Oculus, or you could go to Workspaces. I'm gonna find the URL and I'll share it. But it's a great way for you to combine the two. It's a mixed reality. So I can be in this workspace with my avatar and my MacBook. And so I can see my MacBook. I can use my virtual hands with hand gestures rather than the remote things.
That is cool.
It's super cool. I can record. I go, okay, I want to record video. Boop, boop. I record. Now, if I wanted to use the whiteboard, that's when I grab my remote and I can walk over here and use the whiteboard using the remote as where it'll tell me like where the whiteboard is. It doesn't have to actually be a wall. And then I'm writing.
That's my daughter. I told you.
Bring her on. Bring her on. Let's go.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah. So if we have any questions, guys, just put it in the chat. Let me get to the workspace and start the show. We can go on my live in and die. Here we go, and we're having some fun. Yes, we go. Everybody.
Say
Here
hi.
we go, everybody.
Say hi.
Oh, don't be shy now.
You were banging on the door earlier. So go ahead, say hi, world.
I want to play Roblox later. I like to do the mall simulator, mall tycoon simulator.
No, she just wants to sit down. All right, say hi. Okay, go. Yeah, she's got her jaw as well. She's like, what are you making? I said, I'm making jaw. And then she's like, okay, you're going to make me some too? So, yeah. Now, you said Facebook is now Meta, and Metaverse is what?
Metaverse is just the virtual world. It could be any combination of places. Meta is Facebook, though. And as of 2 weeks ago, you could have a Meta account, but not have to have a Facebook account. So like my kids who are below the age, which I would really want them to be on Facebook, can have a Meta account and still do a lot of things in the Oculus and the VR world that Meta has without having to have a Facebook account. So here, because here I put that in the chat, oculus.com/workrooms.
That's actually really great that you mentioned that, Jeremias, because when my kids got the Oculus a couple of years ago,
right, to tie it in.
Yeah, and then they had to have a Facebook account, so I had to connect my Facebook account for the Oculus so that they could play with it. And now that they can have their own, so this is really good to know for anybody who's going to be watching this and listening, hearing this. You don't need to use your own Facebook account for your kids' Oculus game. But then again, with the Oculus, like you said earlier, you could use that and have a workspace and actually be in the world. So that's cool.
I almost sneezed. Okay. So now there is real virtual real estate that is being sold in the metaverse. Okay. Did I explain that correctly? I think
There
so.
is real estate being sold in the
Real virtual.
virtual real
There
estate.
is virtual real estate being sold in the metaverse. Actually, it was over close to $550 million worth of virtual real estate that was sold in the metaverse in 2021. Experts are saying it's going to be close to $1 billion in 2022. And where it's actually happening, the four major ones, to kind of give people some real life information. Sandbox is one you may have heard of. It's the leader of the top four. Then
Mhm.
there's Voxels, then there's Somnium, and then there's Decentraland. Now, Sandbox is the most popular because that's where like Snoop Dogg has property in there. Atari has property in there, and there's a fixed number of parcels. Let's say they're 1 inch by 1 inch, just like a lot would have a size in real life.
Mhm.
In the sandbox is the same thing, and there's a fixed number of them. And just like real estate, the scarcity of the resource, right? We're not making any more land. Sandbox isn't making any more parcels in this digital land. And then what adds value is its location to other properties, right? So if I lived on the island where you live and Snoop Dogg bought a house down the street, guess what? All that real estate goes because they're like, yo, well, it depends on how you feel about it. It's
Yeah.
cool people like me would be like, yo, Snoop D-O-double-G, what? I'm going over there. I'm gonna live near Snoop. Other people will be like, oh, there's a doggy dog in the neighborhood. We got to go, right? But for the most part, he's an icon. And for the most part, he's an icon, and that's what drove
Mhm.
up, the pricing. It's like you have a limited number of resources, and then what are people willing to pay for it, and that drives the price up. As far as the numbers, let me see. I'm going to give you a real life number because I have them here. Where is it?
Why you look up? Okay, go on.
I have it here. Sandbox sold 166,464 parcels, each sold for $12,700 in December. The parcels are 96 meters by 96 meters.
Now, what are they doing with these parcels? And
Whatever they want. So, like, there's a company called Republic Realm. You may have heard of if you search them up. They have one of the biggest land grabs in virtual land history. They bought tens of millions of dollars in virtual real estate, and they're developing it. This is where you're going to go. Okay, they're developing commercial properties to lease to other people that are selling digital products. So imagine a virtual mall, right? You have Louis Vuitton has a store there. You have JMan's merch has it, right? Because
yeah,
maybe I have like my t-shirts and stuff that I have in real life. You could equip your avatar with my authentic t-shirts that I have a certificate of authenticity which says they're mine and they're not bootlegged in Chinatown in the city,
yeah,
right? Just right, just like you would pay more for a Louis bag or Gucci shoes or whatever the case, because it's real. And here's my certificate of authenticity to demonstrate that. That's what an NFT is,
Mhm.
and that's where it's crazy. It's
I've seen that, and I saw one of the Gucci ones. And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, like wow.
So you could, in the virtual world, be like Biggie Gucci down to the socks, baby. Just like, what's the like, yo, that guy's respect to drip, Gucci down to the socks.
And it's just so. This is so amazing that this we're about what 30, as far as I can remember. I think I was in second grade. Second grade, my dad brings this big printer home, like this huge printer. So yeah, I'm aging myself.
They had, they had computers when you were in second grade.
It was the big computers, the one that took
Apple
up like
Apple IIe.
the one that took up, yeah, the one that took up like
Yeah,
half the room.
with a floppy disk.
Yes, with the big floppy disk. And there was this game where you could make an avatar. Basically, it was just a face, and you could make the hair, you could make the eyes, the color of the eyes, the skin tone, and everything. And that was you. And then you could print it out. And of course, it's like 1992, so it's like you could only have so much options.
Yeah.
It was either really white or really black, and then that was it. And then it was blonde hair or black hair, and different. But you had all sorts of different color eyes. And but this is like the start of creating an avatar,
Right.
making an avatar, and that was like the coolest thing in the world, that you could do this and say, "Oh, look at this. This is me. I made myself." Like if as if you drew. And now you'd like fast forward 30 something years, and you're name branding and selling these avatars that first came out.
Well, and if anybody's ever seen the movie Ready Player One, I feel like um, it's very much art imitating life. The movie's about in the future, everybody lives in this virtual world. Like the world itself is not in good shape. It's like it's really bad shape. It's like everybody's in poverty, but they live in this virtual world where everything's awesome, right? And their avatars are they're the best version of themselves. And this is pretty much what this is.
It is. I mean, there's so much we could talk forever on this topic. So I want to try to stay focused on where we were
Oh,
going. Yeah, right. With with this is
well, I mean, for them, for a first step, you can go to readyplayer.me,
ready.
readyplayer.me to create your first avatar. I'm giving you that site because it's free and
Okay,
it works in many different metaverse spaces. And I'll put
I
it in.
lost. I lost you. Give me a second. I don't know where mine is.
Ready. Here we go. I got all these links. I got them in the private chat. You can copy paste over there. Oh yeah, baby.
Okay, so readyplayer.me is where you could create your own avatar for free.
Mhm. Yeah, that looks kind of like you too. And you could also do it in spatial.io when you first go in there. And here's the other thing that I want to kind of point out. The VR event site that I showed you, which is my site, but it'll take you through to spatial.io. You can enter that from your phone, from your laptop, or from Oculus. So like again, great place for you to get started in the beginning because not all of you have VR headsets, right? I say a couple years from now, they're going to be so cheap. They'll be like 50 or $100 because everybody will have them. And then we'll all be like, hey, you know what? Let me show you this house real quick. Meet me in my office. We put our goggles on. We go to the virtual office, and then I could do like a Matterport tour. Grab it. Here we are.
You're in the house. That, and that's literally what's gonna really help elevate. Because I mean, just with the videos itself, with the professional videos and the drones, increased the house prices that we sold by 20% without the buyer coming into the house, stepping foot into the house. The first time they stepped foot into the house was the day that they closed. That was the first time. And so I'm out here, Eastern Long Island. We sold a house in Cinema Ridges. The buyer was from Manhattan. Because the video was so nicely done and everything, they saw it. They was like, we want it. They bought it right then and there.
Well, and it kind of demonstrates the whole new world where look at like Carvana that are selling cars online where people order it. They just order it like you're ordering from Amazon and they go, I want a blue car and I want to hear. And then it comes delivered to their house like a pizza.
Yeah.
They've never driven it. And then, you know, and this is where the older generation goes, I could never, but Millennials and Z Gens are like, it's a car. I just need to know what's its fuel efficiency, what's my payment. It's a thing. I don't care about anything else. Just deliver the damn thing to my house, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Ice Age, good movie. I like that movie. But I saw a video. I was talking to somebody else the other day about the metaverse, and there's a high rise.
Sorry.
Okay, there's a high rise. I feel like I'm at home. There's a high rise in Miami where they're selling condos that aren't built yet using VR. So they have a wide open space, and the people put on these headsets and they walk through the units. And then at the end, they jump off the side of the building. It's the coolest thing. And they're like, I'm sold because it's an immersive experience.
Mhm.
That's going to be how new construction. I mean, think of if I'm a builder, I have that experience, and then my competitor has a rendering,
Yep.
like a like, yeah, right.
Yeah,
This
it's
old
like so
school rendering
outdated now.
is so outdated. Like you can come to my open and you can walk through this new home that's to be built, or you can go to the other guy and he'll give you a clay model, Lego set to play with. Up to you. Up to you.
Absolutely. That's exactly what's happening right now, and this is the future of sales in real estate is working through that and understanding why video is so important, why the metaverse is so important, why staying up to date to all of these things are so important. Because, like you said, Jeremiah, is walking through that immersive experience, putting that Oculus on, and you because it feels real. Like I smashed my face in the wall when I was put the Oculus.
Yeah, I was playing this game with my son had me play, and it was almost like a Matrix where there was this experience where I had to fight these guys and dodge bullets, but the faster I did it, the faster they moved,
Yeah,
and
that was
slower I did it, right? So I was like this, and I went to block, and I was too close to my wall, the guardian they call it, and I whacked them. I whacked the wall. My son's like, Dad, you don't have to punch it that hard. It's not real.
felt so real. That's what happened. I ducked, and then when I got up, I hit my head underneath the table that I didn't
Yeah,
know I was underneath my table. But that's how immersed, that's how real the it feels. So when you're
right,
walking through this model home that you said is just like a Matterport, but now you're inside of the Matterport,
right.
you could see it and you could actually kind of
Well,
feel it without feeling
not
it.
not just like the space, but then also like if we're talking about Miami, you can feel the elevation, you can
Mm,
see the view,
yep.
right? Not just here's what the view might look like. No, here's the view.
The view.
Oh, I'm on the intercoastal. I can see it now. This is what I would wake up to every day because they can adjust it based on the elevation of the floors. Like there's science to it too,
Yeah,
right? That really out of this world and
it's
into
insane.
another.
It is. It's insane. I find it fascinating as well, and I hope everyone watching out there finds this fascinating and takes into account that this is our future. This is happening. It's not even our future. It's our now right now.
We're gonna have a virtual meetup on Friday at 12
Friday at 12. Oh, you
in the
have your
space.
Fridays in okay. So
Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Click that link. Come into the space. I'm not selling you anything. We could do a little dance. We could do some networking. And here's the thing that I discovered the more I play with this. Think about like just a business networking event, right? You invite all of your vendors and people that you refer business to. We could stand in a circle next to each other in my space and hear each other talk and all of that. But if I walk 5 feet away, there's audio fall off, which means as I walk away, you can't hear me anymore. So I could have a great networking event without all of the ambient noise that you would have in person, right? If we rented a space out on the island of some restaurant, it's a small space, and we're all there and we're like, that gets noisy. And now I can't hear you. And now my voice is hoarse because I'm yelling at everybody all night, but not in the virtual space. It's perfect. I could have a DJ set up on one side of the room playing music, right? And then you only hear it if you get close to the DJ. If you don't
Yeah.
want to hear the music, you walk a little bit further away. You don't have to churn the butter.
Well, that's the science behind it, is making it so real. And it's just what's you're making that real, and you get that feeling that you're actually at that place, which reminds me of the social media summit that you had recently, and we went over that. I think it was Pierre and his wife Hazel went over that whole networking, that whole event, that you can walk in and have your seats and have your different places to sit down, and the vendors that are there sponsoring that event, and you can actually sit down and have a conversation with the mortgage lender, with the title company, with
I mean,
somebody.
even now with the metaverse, you have portals, which means you can be brought to another space. So if I'm a sponsor of my event, and
Mhm.
guys, if you want to sponsor my event on Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just let me know. We'll figure something out. But just for fun. But if like they have a table set up in the front to greet people, and they're like, "Oh, Harjeet, welcome, welcome." Oh, wait, you want to talk about our new program that we have for USDA to buy out in Suffolk County? Let's go into the office. You go into the portal. It's just like Star Wars stuff, okay? You go into the portal here and you go, we're going to go to my office now. Come on, follow me. You go in the portal, boop. Now you go to their virtual space, to their virtual office where they have a little conference room or whatever they might have there. You don't have to hop in a car. You don't have to say, walk with me all the way over here to this. No. You go to the space and you meet there.
That's
They
so
do a
cool.
little presentation. Then you go, all right, let's portal back to Jeremias's event.
And then you're out.
There's you don't have all the sound effects there, but I'm adding the sound effects um, because that's how I feel. It's like, let's use the portal. Like,
That's
wow,
what's going on in Jeremiah's head when he goes into the portal.
I'm giving you guys a look behind the inside my head.
So that
Just
is
kidding, I
cool.
am crazy. I
You're having
am.
one. So Jeremiah is talking about this thing that's actually real. You can go on there with. Gosh, I lost it again. Here is
Put it
the
in there.
link,
vrevent.jmanspeaks.com. You can go there right now and check it out.
and then
I'm not
Friday
there.
at 2. Yeah, Friday at 2. You said 12.
12.
Friday at 12.
12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can see Realtor Jeet there virtually in person.
I think I just got invited. I'll be there.
Well, yeah, this is your audience. I mean, they would like to see
I
you, and
will
then
be there, and I'll
talk
record it.
in person online. I
Yeah,
mean, think of it like a Zoom, but way more fun, right? I mean, we're all zoomed out. We don't want, like, it's more three-dimensional. You can walk around, you can do fun things, and
absolutely.
your hair always looks good.
Always. My hair
Because
always good anyway.
it's
No, it doesn't.
mine just looks the way it looks. That's all. There's some product in it today. I'm trying a new product. It's like a clay. It's less shiny, so that when I do video, it's not like
Won't look shiny. Well, the heat. This is why I closed it right now, because it's just like
frizzy.
gradually. Yes, gradually.
Yeah, that's how mine is without
Well, let me just
products.
put it down right now.
Without product, my hair is like, let my fro go. Like I got a little afro. Awesome.
That's so funny. So yeah, you have awesome hair in your virtual world. Friday at 12.
That's right.
See
See
you
you then.
there. So this is really what I wanted to get on here for this week, was to, because I've seen your videos lately, and you have been talking so much about the metaverse. What's so funny? He's like
Well,
laughing.
'cause it's true, and it's because if you know me, like I start to talk about things when they're new and I really like them.
Yeah,
If I didn't like the metaverse and think it won't be around, like I enjoy it a lot.
yeah.
Blockchain, I like blockchain, like cryptocurrency. I know about it. but I don't. It doesn't tickle my fancy as much.
Yeah.
Metaverse and NFTs, I'm like tickled. Woo! Let's go.
Like you want to know and learn more, and you could clearly see Jeremiah has really put a lot of education into it and learning how
Yeah.
to use it. He's been playing with this for. I've been watching your videos, and I've been seeing how much you've been going in and experimenting, and now you have your event that you're doing Friday. So definitely, I'll be there. I'll take a look at it as well
I'll be there.
and see how this new way of being out here publicly in this virtual world where
Out here publicly in this
in
virtual
this
world.
virtual world,
Yes.
yes, out here. So that's gonna be cool to see. I've always because every time I've been in EXP world, it's in our world, and it's with all of our agents or our clients that we bring in. So when this came out now, and the different companies are coming out with it, and Verbella has corporate other companies, like you said, paying rent for it now. So you're paying for rent for a space, for a virtual space. There he is dancing with his avatar. Ask the experts anything. Meaningful A Team Friday with JMan. He does this on Fridays on Facebook. I don't know where he went. Um,
Here. Let's
yeah,
see
your
our plan.
screen just went black. Um, oh, there you are. So yeah,
Peekaboo.
he does his Fridays live on Facebook, but now this Friday you're doing it virtually. But like I said, like
No, I'm
this is
still doing it Friday at 12. I'm still going to do my 18 Fridays at 9.
okay.
And this is, look, if you're a title company, mortgage company, I don't care. Anybody can come. Let's just, I want you to experience it, because with something new, it's always the first steps. The first
Yep.
steps are what stop you. And I'm helping you here. Create the avatar, go to the space, experience it. Now you've gotten the worst part over with. Now you can figure out, like, how do I want to use this in my business? I got you over the hump. My
And
work
here's
here is done. You go off, Padawan, and you just do what you want to do with your life.
and
And may the metaverse be with you.
and that's the coolest part. You could download this right from your phone.
Whoa, what happened to me?
You just disappeared. I don't know. You're doing some Star Wars stuff now. Talking about Star Wars. I
Okay.
don't know how you're doing that.
I'm fancy, huh?
Yeah, I just have my little. I was telling
First
Jeremiah, I just
class.
have my little webcam. So here's another thing. Don't be afraid to get out and do what you need to do. Just use your phone. You got a camera on here and use it. It's the first step is just to do, even if it's a 20-second.
Just do it.
Yep.
Make your dreams come true.
And that's
Do it.
it. So do you do you want to if any message that you would want to give out today? What's the main message for today?
Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid. It's true. Don't be
Don't be afraid. Be your authentic self in the real world, but also in the virtual world. You'll see me. I look like me. I wear the similar outfits that I would wear in person. I'm going to act the same. And maybe for some of you, this might be a good first step to finding your true authentic self, because you're behind the screen, if you will, like a wizard, like the Wizard of Oz, and it might give you the freedom or the confidence to say, "This is who I really am. Let me show it to the world." And then you feel comfortable enough to come out in the real world and say, you know what, Harjeet, I'm a weird dude. I'm quirky, I'm silly, I like to have fun. That's the way I am, and I'm sharing it with you. And guess what? If the people watching don't like that, it's okay. They're not my people, right? And so I think that's the message. If it helps you to be more comfortable with who you are, finding your true authentic self, man, let's do this, because that's what I'm all about. I'm helping people step outside their comfort zones, achieve their true potential, their true authentic self. And let's do it together, because I'm not getting paid. I don't get paid extra if you I don't get paid at all if you join something that's free. But what I do get, like, my currency is your success. Like, for me, that's why I do what I do, so that I can see Harjeet's killing it with video. She's killing it with social media. She's doing all these things. Next thing you know, somebody else who's watching her show then, gets on in the metaverse and starts creating all this content and starts taking care of clients in a new and engaging way. And their success goes through the roof. Like, that's why I do this. It's the ripple effect of awesomeness that we all create together.
The ripple effect of awesomeness that we create together. I love that.
Yeah, see that? I didn't make that up. I made it up on the fly.
The ripple effect of awesomeness. And it's true, because when we create our avatar, we create what we think of ourselves, how we see ourselves. And if how you see yourself is what you walk out with, that's great. If how you see yourself is not what you walk out with, then yeah, you want to do some work and see why isn't there an alignment in that. So that's another way of actually finding your inner self and being
We're
authentic.
getting deep here today, folks. You weren't ready for this. Hope you had your chai tea.
You started it.
Well, I mean, it is true, because look at, was there a time where I was scared to wear a red jacket? Yeah, because it wouldn't fit in. Right? I would go out and be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm the only one wearing a red jacket." Or was there a time before I wore my fur coat for the first time where I was like, "Man, I really want to wear this fur coat, but what will the people think?" Yeah, there was a time where I was scared to, where I said, "You know what? I walked out without it. I went back and put it on, and I was like, we be flossing. Let's go." Like, but it took me having to overcome that little bit of like, well, what if they don't? Well, guess what? What if everything turns out better than you ever imagined? That's how you got to change your mindset.
God, this is the third time I'm hearing that this week. What
Well,
if
it started with me. Yeah.
what if it turns out better than you imagined? And it's so true, because like you mentioned with your red jacket or your fur coat, growing up as the Indian girl with the long braid and thick glasses wasn't so. If it wasn't even for that, it was now the outfit. Walking out with your traditional garments, with the long
Right.
hair, with the glasses, and
Right.
you would never see me walking like that in school, because I felt like an outsider. Yes, going to temple, going to our place of worship, that's where you would see me wearing it. Otherwise, and everybody else was wearing it, so you felt like you fit in. And I'm just so grateful for my children, how they've embraced the culture, because it doesn't matter to them if what somebody else says.
Oh, and I think that our kids are they're more open-minded than I think kids were when we were younger, to
Yeah.
being different. And I think
Mhm.
that's part of where nobody talks about. The influencers have taught them that. And I mean, like, people that what they watch on YouTube and stuff, they're like, you know what? Just be different, because the person that they watch because that person is different, not because they're the same as everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're so right. I mean, give me 1 second.
I
This is
see your
my
true
daughter
colors.
on her prom, her
Oh,
junior
that's great.
prom. Like, she went all Princess Jasmine.
Is that like a picture, or is that like a airbrush? That looks
It's an
cool.
airbrush. Yeah, my dear friend Lisa sent this, and she said stunning beauty, just like her mom.
Oh, that's so nice. You got good friends.
I do. She's amazing, but this is like I would have never walked out like that, because I would have felt so out of place. and it wouldn't have been alignment with who I am. So it's I think understanding that making our avatars, it's like the drawing. You know, when we draw a picture of ourselves, what we think of ourselves and we're putting it on a piece of paper, that's how we see ourselves. You know, you have a kid draw a picture of themselves and they're going to draw how they feel. They can put a smiley face or they're going to put a sad face. And it's just another way of expressing who you are in art form, just digitally.
That's right.
So thank you for that message, Jeremias. I really appreciate
that was a great unexpected message that I didn't even think of ahead of time, but that's what it's all about. You bring the best out of people. And thank you for that. Thank you for being who you are.
Thank you. My pleasure. So with every guest that I have, every special guest I have, they do the closing. Jeremias did a really great closing with the ripple effect of your awesomeness.
Oh, yes.
Thank you so much.
Oh, here, let's close it out with this song.
And he's a dancer.
Yo me llamo Casano y la gente me dice cómo es.
Bye guys, have a
Gracias a sus raíces, ¿sabes cómo es? Ando con mi león.